My name is Ralf Dietel and I play the guitar-bass hybrid in my band KrashKarma. That's a metal duo where I have a singing female drummer and I'm left with playing everything, guitar and bass. Right now we are on tour 50 dates across Europe, where we started in Germany, France, go to Spain, Scandinavia and all across Europe. 50 dates in a van, that's gonna be 12,000 kilometers. So lots of driving and lots of guitar and bass playing. I started using the Profiler in 2015 when I finished our album Paint the Devil. And I was in the studio recording with real tube amps and I was about to go on tour and I didn't know how I'm gonna get all these sounds on the road. And right then, 2 days before the tour, I bought the Kemper Profiler, profiled my whole signal chain, and I was able to bring all my sounds on the road. So we traveled first through the United States and then in Germany. And ever since, I'm using the Profiler, never looked back. What I really like about the Profiler is when I was in the studio before, I had different amps, cabinets, microphones, preamps, and it took me days to find the right position for the microphone and the right cabinet, the right speaker. And recording a song, listening back in a mix, the guitar tone is not right. So I had to go back, re-record the guitars. So there was a lot of back and forth to find the perfect tone. And once I found the perfect tone, it was good for the album. 2 years later, I recorded the next album. What did I use? Where was the microphone? I was never able to recapture that original sound. So I put a lot of time in getting gear together, working on guitar tones. And ever since I got my Kemper and I was able to capture this perfect setup, I could always use this from then on. So that gave me way more time to be creative and write songs, focus on the things that I found more important than getting the perfect sound. Because what's the point of getting the perfect sound when a year later I have to do the same thing over and over again? So I thought that was one of the biggest advantages of having the Kemper. With KrashKarma, I'm playing this special instrument. It looks like a guitar, but it's also a bass. If you look closely, there's two pickups in here. One is for the guitar and one is a one-string pickup that sits only under the low E string, that has its own output, its own volume port. So when I play a guitar, I always need to play the E string in order to have the bass. So that means my right hand picking is always following the kick drum. That way it sounds like a full band, not just a guitar player. So my bass output right here goes into this Kemper. And I have a profile that I made out of an Ampeg SVT and an 8x10 cabinet. And that's basically an octave down with the EQ pedal. And for my guitar, that's this output, I'm using this Kemper rack over here. That's a PV6505 profile. And I'm using a pitch pedal and a delay. So here's the bass alone. Now when I add the guitar, I'm also adding a pitch pedal. So the bass stays always dry, but the guitar is going 2 octaves up. A really cool riff on my last album is called 50 Minutes of Pain, and here's how everything sounds together. So if I mute the guitar now, here's what the bass is doing. So ever since I started using the Kemper and I was able to make profiles of the amplifiers I'm using, I figured why not go in and make the sound better. So there's all these settings. You can adjust so many things and make the sound that you used to use just better. So at one point when I started tweaking all the sounds for the amplifiers I was using anyway, I got to a point where my profiler sounded better than the amps I was using. So there was no way for me to go back and use the amplifier right now because there's so many things that I changed to make the sound and improve the sound that for me the Kemper became a very essential thing. I cannot imagine not using it anymore for productions or being on stage.